NCAA Final Four teams have finally been decided. Representing the Midwest region, the Michigan State Spartans. In my opinion, Michigan State had the toughest road to the Final Four. They had to go through Robert Morris, a mediocre team, 15 seed, USC, Kansas, and Louisville. I said in the introduction video I was rooting for Michigan State. Right after I posted the video, I checked the score of the Michigan State in Louisville for the first time today, and Michigan State had just beaten the Cardinals. So I was pretty excited about that. Representing the West region, the UConn Huskies, they played some pretty powder puff teams in this tournament. When your toughest team is Missouri and you only win by 7 points, it's kind of a given that you're going to be in the Final Four. Representing the East region, big surprise to me was Villanova Wildcats. I really didn't see them doing what they did to UCLA. I had UCLA in my Elite Eight, I believe. So seeing them actually get to the Final Four was not one of my expectations. But they ended right when they beat, Duke, who's a 2 seed, by 20 points, 89 to 69. And then 2 days later, they beat the number 1 seeded Pittsburgh, 78 to 76, and probably the best game of the whole tournament. I really wasn't surprised they beat Pitt. I wasn't surprised that they beat Pitt. It was just a surprise that they got that far. Pitt, quite honestly, to me, was the weakest number 1. From day one, I just looked at the number 1 seed and said, Pitt's not going all the way. There's no way Pittsburgh. And then they proved me right during the tournament. They just played really crappy. They barely got out of games alive. So, representing the South region, obviously the North Carolina Tar Heels. I think everyone kind of had them in their Final Four. Everyone thought, well, maybe OU could beat them. No, I said from the start, this is a team you're not going to be able to stop. OU has 1 player. UNC has 5 stars. Okay, might not have 5 stars. The Tar Heels have Hansborough and Lawson. A great power forward and a great point guard. It's the perfect combination. UNC had a decent enough road. They had to go through LSU, a good Gonzaga team, and of course OU. They beat pretty convincingly. So as far as the Final Four picks go, so for my picks, my picks are Michigan State over UConn because, 1, I'm rooting for them. 2, they've had the toughest road until this point. They beat USC, which USC is not a great team, but they're not lousy either. Then they went on to beat last year's national champion, Kansas. That's a pretty good feat. And then 2 days later, they beat the top number 1 seeded team in the nation, Louisville. UConn's played Texas A&M, Purdue, and Mizzou the last 3 rounds, and I think pure will, power, blood, sweat, and tears are going to win it, because that's what Michigan State is all about. That's what they teach at that program. So I'm calling Michigan State in a close one until the end. Down goes UConn. On the other side of the bracket, we got Villanova and UNC. It's the underdog versus the championship caliber team. I'm not really buying into another Villanova upset. I'm taking UNC on the shoulders of Tyler Hansborough to win over Villanova in a not so close one. I really don't see it. It's going to be a 10. It's going to be a 10. It's going to be a double-digit game. So my matchup for the championship game is Michigan State and UNC. I'll be rooting for Michigan State. If they get to the championship game, I say UNC wins in a closer than expected game. But if UConn does beat Michigan State, I'm going to be rooting for UNC because I hate UConn. So, but either way, UNC they're going to be the championships. I don't think it's really a surprise. They have the players, and they definitely have the coaching. Roy Williams is a fantastic coach. So UNC, the North Carolina Tar Heels are going to be the 2009 NCAA Men's Championship team. I'll make another video when we found out who the final two teams are, just to give a little more in depth. That's all for now. Stay tuned. Another video is coming either tomorrow, Monday, or Tuesday. Probably not a long one, just a short discussion topic. Something simple. Subscribe!